What is up, Guardians, and welcome to Schwille Gaming, where you can stay up to date with Destiny content. Today I'm bringing to you a full guide on how to complete the brand new Ghost of the Deep dungeon, and this brand new dungeon is a ton of fun. It has some rich lore and some really cool armor and weapon rewards, and is actually pretty exciting to progress your way through. If you're new to this channel, make sure to smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's dive into it. To initially gain access to the Ghost of the Deep dungeon, you will need to go and speak with Hawthorne in the tower if you haven't done so already. You won't need to do any special quests or anything. Hawthorne just gives you access to the dungeon. Simple as that. Quick disclaimer here, you will also need to own the Lightfall dungeon key, which came with the deluxe version of Lightfall, or I believe is available for silver, which, let me tell you, is well worth the price. Once you have access to the dungeon, open your director and you can load into it from the helm. When you first load into the dungeon, you'll start off in this large wooded area. You can use your Sparrow to get around this area more quickly. You're going to want to make your way to the center or home base of this area. You'll know it by this fountain and spikes and hive statue in a ritual kind of formation. Go ahead and place your rally flag, and then you can start the encounter. To trigger this encounter, you'll need to kill these two knights at this green blocked off doorway. Once you kill the knights, adds are going to start spawning in, and one of these adds is an ogre that you need to kill. When you kill the ogre, he's going to drop this green goop or slime. The goop is going to tell you which way you need to go, but note that the goop won't get you all the way to your location, but will act more as a hint as to where you need to go. You'll know you're at the right spot when several green hive rings spawn a large group of adds. Once these adds spawn in, you need to kill them, and when you kill the last wizard, it too, like the ogre, will drop green goop that will point you in your next direction. Go ahead and follow that to your next spot. At this location, again kill all the adds, but what's different here is a Lucent or light wielding hive will spawn in. Pay attention to and remember the hive rune hovering above this location. Kill the Lucent hive, and then hightail it back to the beginning home base ritual area. Here, you will notice the hive statues have runes on them. You will need to kill the wizard here. That wizard will drop Deep Sight, and that once you activate it, you'll be able to see the hive runes on the statues. This is where remembering the symbol where you killed the Lucent hive in the last area comes into play. The person who killed the Lucent hive will need to match that symbol to the correct statue and dunk it there. Thing to note is the person who kills the Lucent hive will get a buff on the left side of their screen called Vestige of Light. Now this buff is on a timer of 1 minute and 20 seconds, so you'll have that long to get back to the beginning and kill the wizard and deposit the Vestige of Light in that correct statue. Now each deposit will complete the mechanic for this encounter. At this point, you will simply need to repeat this whole process, I believe 3 or it might be 4 times to finish this encounter and move on in this dungeon. Alright, so that may all seem a little complicated, so I'll break it down one more time for you. Kill the ogre, follow the green goop, kill adds, follow the green goop again, kill adds and the Lucent hive, everyone goes back to the beginning and kill the wizard, activate the Deep Sight, and the person who killed the Lucent hive deposits on the correct statue. Rinse and repeat until the encounter is finished. Sounds more complicated than it is, but once you do it a couple of times, it gets easier and you'll get the hang of it. Go ahead and collect your rewards, and then you're free to move on. The next part of the dungeon is the traversal and jumping puzzle. I'm not going to show you the whole path as to not spoil anything for you guys or take the fun out of discovering the way for yourself, but take your time and feel free to stop and look around. There's actually a lot of really cool scenery through here, and Bungie did an excellent job with this level design. A couple tips: think outside the box, the way forward won't always be so black and white. Look in all directions and check each nook and cranny. Some ways are a little tricky, but I have faith in you to figure it out. There's going to be a lot of underwater traversal, and the air bubbles are pretty spread out. I suggest getting the bubbles as a team so no one gets left behind and dies, as this will take more time, and upon death, you'll respawn pretty far back. Aside that, this traversal is pretty cool, so take your time figuring it out, have fun, and I'll see you at the next encounter. Welcome back here, guys. Hopefully that traversal section wasn't too bad and you had fun with it. Once you arrive at this location, we begin the next encounter, or the first boss, and it's a doozy, so get ready. This boss is a giant light-bearing knight, and you're going to need to complete some mechanics to take his shield down and start damage. There's going to be a lot of adds in here too, so I recommend your best add clear supers and weapons. Hunter Gathering Storm is great here, Warlock Sunbracers, grenade launchers, machine guns, you name it. I'd also put on some orb generating mods to help you and your team get your abilities back quick to deal with all the adds. When this encounter starts, you're going to want to start killing adds. At the back middle of this room, an ogre will spawn in and you'll need to kill it. After you kill it, Deep Sight will spawn in the middle of the room in front of the fountain. Pick one teammate to get it, and the other two teammates will continue clearing adds. Now the person who gets the Deep Sight will need to look at the chains on the walls and memorize the hive symbols that appear. Once you know the symbols, you will need to go underwater. There's 3 or 4 access points on the floor of the room. Once underwater, you will need to locate these symbols and activate them with your action button. Be careful though, because the boss is underwater with you and he will chase you and attack. As you are activating these symbols underwater, your teammates above will need to kill each wizard that spawns in. When they kill a wizard, they will need to go to each of the hive statues in the room and deposit their buff there. There are 3 statues, one in the back middle, one on the left, and one on the right. When the person underwater has activated all their symbols, they can come up and help the rest of the team with the wizards, statues, and adds. Once all 3 wizards have been defeated and all 3 buffs deposited, a knight is going to spawn in the front center of the room. Kill it and he will drop a green ring. This will begin damage phase and you and your team will need to stand in that green ring to be able to damage the main boss. Rinse and repeat until you kill the boss, collect your rewards, then you are free to move on. To go forward, you'll need to go back underwater, and then there will be another traversal section with some adds at the end. Alright, if you're still with me here, then congratulations, you've made it to the final boss room. Before we get into mechanics, I want to take a moment to really appreciate the lore here. Through all the traversal in this dungeon, you should have noticed we were working our way through the Dreadnought, and when we finally reach the boss room, we can see Oryx's body and what looks like a ritual taking place to put a ghost in him and resurrect him. This makes a lot of sense, since when we killed Oryx, we saw his body floating off into space in the rings of Saturn, which the location we're at, Titan, is a moon of Saturn. So it appears that Oryx and his Dreadnought crash landed on Titan. In the Witch Queen, in one of Savathun's memories, Two Truths and a Lie, she says the Taken King will rise again. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if Oryx does actually come back, but this is so well done, so kudos to Bungie on this. Oryx is one of my favorite, if not my favorite Destiny villain, so I'm pretty excited to see some new lore on him. Alright, so to begin this final boss encounter, you'll need to perform a finisher on the ghost above Oryx's body. To start off, I would suggest appointing locations to Oryx's body. I think my team called them skull, chest, left and right hands, and knee and toe. You can name them whatever works for you and your team, so long as you're all on the same page and know where to go. Once the encounter starts, you'll need to locate the Deep Sight and activate it. Once you do, you'll notice a green triangle will appear. Each point of this triangle will determine which parts of Oryx's body you need to go to. My team went to each point together, but if your team is really cracked, you can each go to your own point. At each point, there will be a green ring. A yellow bar knight is going to spawn in, and you'll need to lure the knight to the green ring and kill him inside the green ring. Once you kill the knight, another smaller green ring will appear in the air, as well as a Taken King symbol. Just like in the Witch Queen when you had to visually align symbols, you'll need to look through the green ring and align the Taken King symbol within it. Once you do that, the point will be complete, and you will need to repeat that whole process on the other 2 points of the triangle. Now once all 3 points are completed, you'll need to enter the water in 3 locations at the back of the map and make your way through the water to the room. In this room, there will be a group of adds as well as a Lucent Hive. You need to kill your adds and the Lucent Hive. Before you kill your Lucent Hive, just like in the beginning of the dungeon, pay attention to and remember the hive symbol hovering in the room. This symbol will correspond with one of the 3 points of the triangle on Oryx's body. Once you kill your Lucent Hive, you will need to go back through the water to the main room and deposit your symbol on the matching point of the triangle. Note that you will need Deep Sight activated to be able to see and deposit your symbol. My team found it best to have someone waiting by the Deep Sight clearing adds, and when you're coming back to the main room, you call it out to your team and they can activate Deep Sight for you. This works well, especially since the symbol you grab is on a timer. Once all 3 symbols have been deposited in the correct locations, you can begin damage phase. Like in the first boss encounter, you will need to be standing in a green ring to be able to do damage. These green rings are located at each point of the triangle where you deposited symbols. The boss is pretty tanky, so bring your best DPS weapons and super. My team had Divinity to keep the crit spot up, Sleeper Simulant, and I believe Circular Logic. That's the whole mechanic for the boss fight, and it's kind of a lot going on, so let's go over it one more time. You're going to activate Deep Sight, locate the triangle, lure and kill knights at each point in the triangle, and visually align Taken King symbols in circles. Next, go through the water on the edge of the room and kill adds in your Lucent Hive, then go back through the water to the main room where you deposit your symbol in the correct location. Once all symbols are deposited, you can begin damage phase. Again, stand in the green rings to do damage, and then after that, just rinse and repeat till you kill the final boss, collect your rewards, and then you'll have completed the entire dungeon. Alright guys, that is your full guide on the brand new Ghosts of the Deep dungeon. I think this is one of the better dungeons in Destiny. From start to finish, it's a visual masterpiece, and it's a ton of fun to play through. And again, if you pay attention, there's some really awesome lore in there too. The armor set's pretty sweet, and the weapons are top tier too. I hope this guide helped, and let me know your thoughts on the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. As always, thanks for tuning in to Shwille Gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.